Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever DBW Arts painting lesson. My name is Donnie Vanderwall, and I will be doing, I think I'm going to be doing a landscape painting. The reason I'm not so certain about that is because the way I paint is I look at the canvas and um, I kind of wait for a vision to appear. And when I see something kind of start to come out at me from the canvas, I paint over that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And you'll have to forgive me for my, excuse me, my studio setup, my camera setup. This is not my main studio. I've created kind of a booth to put this in to make these recordings, and um, still waiting on another camera for a third view so you can see me as well. Um, it's always good to see who's painting the painting as well as the paintings themselves. I do have a camera right here in front of my little paper plate palette. So hopefully you'll get a good enough view of this. I'll try to show you all the paints and how I'm mixing them, and that was the purpose of getting this cam here. But I'm still working on the camera setups and the software, but I really needed to get started on some of these tutorials because, well, I've got quite a few lined up, and as well as a commission painting that I need to get started on. But for today, we're going to get started on a simple kind of well, let's go with a landscape painting. Now, I'm using oil paints. I do use acrylics. I use oils. But today I'm going with oils, and I'm going to put down just a little bit of liquid clear on here, and that's just going to help me spread the paint around. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of liquid white over the canvas, which will help do like the wet on wet effect and spread the paints around. But lately I've been trying to just go with the dry canvas, and I have an easier time with it, put it that way. When I do mix, sometimes I just like to use my filbert brush because I'm not really sure exactly the color I'm going to be going for here. So we are going to give it a shot, and I do see that I'm missing one. I can tell you some of the colors I'm using right now, and I've got them all kept off to the side here because I don't really have a whole ton of room. The Prussian blue, that was what I was looking for, and I needed to get that out. I also have cadmium yellow, soil green, permanent red, alizarin crimson, and vert umber, and white. And those are the colors that I just felt I would go with today. Again, I'm just gonna start from scratch, and what I'm feeling is kind of a landscape. So that's what we're gonna shoot for. Just want to go with a little bit of blue. Don't want to go too dark though. Although I don't mind going a little darker along the top. Just gonna mix them up here, and then I'm gonna add a little white, have it get lighter. Yeah, okay. I was just thinking maybe doing a little bit of yellow in the sky, but I think for now we're good. So let's just throw some color in here and get it started. Okay. And just start out with a little bit of sky, do some crisscross strokes here. Don't really want to, again, don't want to go too dark or even too heavy on this. I have a special technique that is kind of a, well, I like to add clouds, but I like the natural effect. Instead of trying to work so hard to get some, I actually just let the colors and let the white that I use work for me, and it looks more natural. Again, this is the very first episode, the pilot episode, I guess you could call it. I have so many paintings that I do need to do, and you can see many that I have done on the website that I am going to link below. The link to it there for you, dvwarts.com. Now, just a typical blue sky for now, but I'm going to darken the corners. I want to add a little bit of alizarin crimson, just a little bit. Thinking I might want to give it a little bit of a stormy effect. I keep adding some blue. I want to spread this out kind of thin. I don't want it just jumping out and where you just see one big streak of color there. But I do like the way that's looking. I do need to get better light in here. I have installed lighting, and actually I had some extra tracks of plant lights, and I thought they would be a nice kind of a soft touch, and yeah, I was right. The only thing is they're hung too far up, so what you gonna do? First show, and it will get different. It will get better. Make the necessary changes, but for now, just get things started. Get a little bit darker on the top there. Gonna cool it down as we go down to the center. A nice sky. I want just various colors. I don't want just plain blue. Not this time. Sometimes I do. I like a nice cool blue color. And I gotta tell you, this lack of lighting I have is not doing me any good. That's okay. I can work with it. Actually, add a little touch of red in there to warm things up. It's always good. Just throw some colors in. Don't always go by what you see on TV or the internet and just follow suit, so to speak. Play with the colors. Feel them. Just kind of let it come from within you. And I'm not trying to quote any other artists such as, well, Mr. Ross. I still am a big fan of Bob Ross, and in fact he is how I actually got started, watching him. And I was caring for my father at the time in his home, which is where I live now. And I was watching the episodes and taking real big interest in it, and I decided to buy some art kits, and some, not just one. I wanted to try all different mediums and different size canvases, and I even bought one or two of his videos and started working from there. And I realized that really wasn't the way I wanted to go. I wanted to kind of play around with the colors on my own and just do my own thing. So that was what I've been doing. But I do agree with a lot of the things that he had said, that he had taught, that really inspired me, because it really kind of connected with me and how I feel. And he used to say that your paintings should come from within you, and you share them. Let it come from within your heart, and he always would say that this is your world. This painting is your world. Put what you want in it. And that's exactly how I feel. I create a world. Now, as you can see, I'm getting a little effect with some clouds in there. I'm just throwing a little bit of white paint to lighten it up, but I'm not really trying to paint a cloud. I just want the effect that it kind of has the look and feel of some cloud formations in there. And it can add more later and actually detail them, and that's fine. I sometimes do. Sometimes I just leave it the way it is, and I'm good with that. I'm okay. I just go by feeling, and for me, that's what works best. For you, you pick your method, your reasons, the reason you actually want to paint, or what you want to paint, your style. You pick your own way. As for me, I'm sharing my thoughts on canvas, sharing my visions on canvas. In fact, that's what it says on my business card. Sharing my visions on canvas. Currently, I'm working on a portrait. I don't normally do portraits. I'm not going to say I'm really all that great with portraits. But I did one, not a portrait, but a certain painting for Easter, and it was the empty tomb of Jesus Christ. So I decided to do a portrait, and I haven't gotten that far with it because the vision was coming right out, and I was painting as I saw the vision come out, saw his face come out of the canvas, if you will. Excuse me. But then my family, we went on vacation to Jamaica, and then when I came back, I have yet to go back to it. But that's all right. I'm gonna get it finished, and I wanted to do it here for a DVW Arts episode, but it's a very large canvas. It's a big one, so I don't think I'll be able to get it on camera here. I'm using some odorless paint thinner. And I do have a rack in which I clean my brushes, and that's what you're hearing. With just a little bit left of that on there, you might be able to see a little sheen on there. It's a little bit odorless paint thinner left in there, which is going to help. Excuse me. It's going to help thin the paint out a little bit. I just wiped some down on a paper towel. Now, I'm going to show you here, this is just some of my paints now. One of the greens I do love to use is a soil green. It just has a nice color to it. Combine it with just a little bit of black. I add a little white to this because what I want to do, and I think I'm going to want to get a little brown in here as well. I'm going to put a little bit of faint color back there for some distant trees, and then I'm going to bring some up to the distance, or I mean up to the front. Okay, just added a little brown, and let me get this back in camera view here. Move that for you. Just touching a little bit of brown. Just a little bit to want to warm it up a little bit. The green was just a little too bright, and soil green generally is not all that bright. It's a good earth green. Now, what I want to do is just look at this for a minute, and this is really how I really truly do this. I look at it and I start to see trees. Not just trees, shrubs. You'll see that, this, doesn't look like finished or anything, and I don't need it to. I'm gonna add to this. This is what I call putting some base colors down. That's all I'm doing, because I'm actually gonna be making like this a nice shrub. I just seen it sitting there, and something in the distance there. Not gonna press too hard here because I want that to be kind of lighter, and I'm gonna be adding some color to these bushes here. I'm gonna tap a few in here, and that's really all I'm doing. I added a bunch of paint here to the brush, mainly on just this bottom half here. See if you can see me doing it like this. I'm just really just kind of pushing the bottom half of the brush in. All right. Now, I want to add a little bit yellow ochre to this, just because I just see different colors. And that's kind of what I really wanted. That green's good. I like that green, but I'm gonna bring more of it up front. But just do some of this now. I've got quite a bit of this yellow ochre in here, but I wanted to dab just a little bit. What it does is that kind of lightens up that green that's on there, and which is great because when I start adding more in front, I can add darker colors, and therefore it'll look like these are much further back in the distance, and that's what I'm going for. I've only got the one larger. I got one here. I'm going to keep him faint because I'm going to put some larger ones up here in front. And I haven't decided, but I just had an idea here that what I might do, a little more green back in here, what I might do, like that, is maybe put some snow down here. We'll see. We'll see. If you like this and you decide maybe you want to try this painting, you can put whatever you want in there. Again, right now we're just having fun with the colors, and we're just putting some base color down. That's it. We're just putting some colors down. We're going to play with them later and do some really cool things with them. Exactly what? Don't know. I don't know. Alright, do something a little darker here. Put in some brown, a little more brown in here. And I think we're going to have some trees. These are kind of trees and shrubs, yes, but I'm thinking about maybe some tall trees. We'll see when we get there. How's that? Get a little bit of this color in here. Let's see where we get from here. Nothing planned here. Nothing planned. Just kind of winging it. That's how I love to paint. Sometimes I get an idea of what I want to do. I mean, it's not that I never do. Sometimes I do. When I did the Empty Tomb, I started it as something else, but I always knew that I wanted to actually do one. So I did. But this one, no. I don't want to know what I'm going to do here. I'm adding various colors. What I'm doing, again, I'm not pretending to be a professional or the best artist in the world or anything like that. I'm just playing around with the colors. And I've been doing this for quite a long time. But I still always go to playing with the different colors and just go ahead and lay them down. And if if I'm not pleased with it, then I can do something else with it. You know, I can paint over it. I'll do something. I'm good. Got no worries. Got no fears. I'm just trying to have fun with my paints, my paintbrush. See, I'm getting a little darker up here. I do think I'm going to want to do something with here, and I think it might be snow, but I don't know for certain. So what I'm going to do is just play around. I'm going to get a little bit lighter here, like that. I knew I wanted to do something, but gosh, I really didn't know what. Just going by feel here, you know? I also tell you, I've watched a lot of different artists and still do. There are some artists I love watching on YouTube all the time. All the time. And I learn so much. I'm grateful for that. I mean, I'm down to maybe 3 or 4 that I watch regularly because I really like their work. Yeah, look at that. Added some green, some red, and a little bit of blue. Oh boy, what are we gonna do here? This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go a little crazy here. Let's hope I don't regret this. I'm gonna get my fan brush out here. Load some of this paint. Well, you'll see. Alright. I'm just... Yeah. Yeah, I do like that, but I don't like using that brush. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my filbert brush. This one right here. I go a little darker with it because I think I'm really gonna need to on this. There we go. And I'm gonna rinse this one off. Forgot my brush here had a lot of blue on there. I don't want that. I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. Wipe this down on my paper towel in front of me. And let's go back. Getting some of this brown. And I have a little bit of red color down here. I'm gonna mix the brown in with it. It's kind of a dark rust color in a way. Alright. Bring this right down here. Alright, and then I'm gonna get a little black in here as well. One thing I love to paint are trees. I am a tree fanatic. I just love trees. Almost all of my paintings have trees. Almost all of them. Except for the one with the tomb and the one with the portrait I'm doing. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, I will throw a tree in there somewhere. Yeah. Alright. I'm just going to throw this in for now because I'm going to continue on elsewhere. But I saw a tree here. And the paint is a little thin. Too thin. It's alright. I can work with it. I'm going to make this tree a little wider here. See? Just like that. Usually I can get a tree down with one swipe. It just did not want to work for me that time. And that's fine. That's okay. Things happen. Okay, now I want to get a little more color in here. I'm gonna go in some, I got some green, got red, got all kinds of colors here. Gonna make it work. Burnt sienna. Let's throw that in. Let's have some fun. Alright. Boom, 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 boom. Some darker colors when you get up front here, just like that. Isn't it kind of crazy when you watch someone paint and he has no idea what he's going to do? Even at least the Bob Ross videos, he knew what he was going to paint. He had it all planned out. Not me. Not me. I like to just, especially when it comes to foliage like this and different plants, I like to add depth. I just love to add colors, just all kinds of colors, and then try to make them work. And then throw trees and sticks and shrubs and all kinds of things into it to make it all pop out and come to life. That's what I love to do. Now, what I'm going to do is, I did say I want to put snow in here, and I do, but I'm thinking, yep, that's right. That's what I want to do right here. I don't care what color it is either. As you can see, look, it's just totally different color. I don't care. It's all going to come out right in the end. Because it's something I made. Something I created. You see this? Look at that. I like that. Okay, I just wanted to have some land come out like this. That's what I wanted. Alright. I'm going to make a little more right out here. I like this color. This is a very good earthy color. It's nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Put a little more of the cabin yellow in there. Try not to paint my hand. And I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Alright. And that will about do it. Alright. Add a little depth. A little depth in there. See, look at that. Just little marks. Looks like I just made some branches in there. So, I'm going to get this brush. I have a clean brush, the same brush I had. It's just a 1-inch brush. And it's a Bob Ross. Look at that. Right there. Of course, it's a Bob Ross. These are brushes I bought back about a year ago when I was really into, watching all his videos, learning how to paint. And then I realized there were a lot of other artists that kind of did the same thing, and they were on YouTube and making their own videos. And I was hooked. It was almost like saying, bye, Bob. See ya. Thanks for everything you showed me, but I can learn from others as well. Here's what I'm doing. I'm just doing little arcs. This is white. Titanium white. Okay. I'm trying to pull some of the color out with me. Get some more paint on here. Alright. I am going to make this a little snowy area here. But I do want, ooh, look at that. Look at that. A little bit of earth in there, huh? Yeah. And I'm going to put something along the edge here too, so I'm not worried about that. Not at all. But, you see that? I'm just taking some of this color, just like that. Some of the green creates like a shadow. You just pull it right along with you into the snow. Now that right there, I'm going to leave that in there. I like that. As Bob Ross used to say, they're happy little accidents. Don't make any mistakes. Just happy accidents. It's so true. It is just so true. Alright, I did that. Now I'm just gonna, I might actually have to put more white on the plate because I'm running low. And I see, now you see I got some streaks here, so that makes it look not so perfectly painted or just all white for snow. Some parts of the canvas, because it's white, because I'm putting snow down here, I might leave. When doing that, and you see that you got some areas here that actually either lower or raise the terrain, it looks more real to me. It looks natural. That's, I guess, the word I'm going for. It does look more natural. Putting a little bit of a curve in here, if you will. There we go. Here I'm creating a little bit of shadow, pulling some of that color in here. Just like that. Just like that. Look at that. See that? That's nice. These little marks in here. Now I can go ahead and there we go, smooth that out. All right. I can go ahead and maybe do some work around here, do some work on this tree here, do some work, you know, a little more, since it is snowy out, right? Let's lighten up some of these. Maybe they got a little snow on them, but not much. Just enough to lighten them up. Just like that. I want to put just a few marks in here. Usually I'll use a palette knife and I'll scrape some twigs in there, and I did forget to bring them over to this workstation. That's okay. I can use a brush to do a very similar thing. Now I do want to add a little color here. Look at that. There's snow, but I mean, there's still some color. Just because there's snow on the ground doesn't mean the plants can't produce some marvelous color. Just like that. Huh? There we go. That adds some depth right there. And I do like that. I hope you're enjoying this. This is it's something I do all the time, but I've never done it video. I've never done a tutorial or just a video where people can watch me paint. So something completely new to me. So I hope you are enjoying this. I'll go a little crazy. I am actually blending a lot of different colors here because I want to do something up front. Okay. Just want to add some colors. Little bush. There we go. And I do have this this canvas. It is on a slant, so I could get it more straighter for your camera view, for your view. So it leaves me at a little bit of disadvantage. That's okay. I can handle it. I can handle this. Okay, so I would like to add a little bit of darkness in the back. I want to add some shadow. I'm going to use my filbert brush, and I love using this brush. There's an artist that I do watch on YouTube, and he doesn't use palette knife very often. He uses his filbert brushes more than just about anything. It's amazing. It's amazing what I've seen him do with filbert brush. So I've learned from, watching him. So I too use a filbert brush quite a bit. Quite a bit. I've done whole mountain scenes with just filbert brushes. There's something to be said for that. A lot of painters, a lot of artists. Oh, they love to use a palette knife. I did too. Still do, actually. I used it on the empty tube that I painted about a month ago. When I do things like this and I'm throwing colors in, I don't always know just what I'm looking for. It's something that I feel. I know that back in here I can see that there's a little bit of shade, a little bit of darkness, because I can see this overlapping this section right here. Right? Okay. So I'm just trying to pull this out a little bit. I put some light in there, but I need to put some dark in there as well. There's no light without dark, and there's no dark without light. And it does kind of give the illusion that maybe there's some rock formation back in here. Just sometimes you just keep adding, or even subtracting. You just keep playing around with it, and that's how you learn how to do certain things. And I do see somewhat of rock formation in here. You see where just some light would be hitting it. Right? Okay. I want to add just a few streaks. I could add a few streaks here, just to, since I don't feel like getting up and leaving you for a minute to get a palette knife. I'm going to go ahead and just make a few lines. palette knife will help scrape paint off to create lines and give the illusion of sticks. And I know that with enough practice, you do the same here. A little too much, but that's all right. I can always do something with that, you know, right? Always. No accidents. You just experiment. That's all. You don't get upset and say I just ruined my painting. You don't allow yourself to get too frustrated. I've done that. Shame to say, but I have. It's just not the way to go. You see what you've done and you look at it and say, what can I make out of that now? What did I just do? What can I make out of that? Right? Just making some edges here. Not perfect. They don't need to be at all. But I do want some green in there now. I'm going to go into my soil green. Let's go in some color here. Ran out of white. I'll have to add some more. It's okay. Yep, I do like that color, so I'm going to go ahead and use what I just created over there on my plate. Now I want to add a little color like this. I want to add some green. I mean, we've got some green in the back, but this is all kind of brown and it doesn't need to stay brown at all. Okay, so we're gonna make some green here. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and load some up, and if I don't like it, I can change it. I'm okay. Even though I'm doing this on a video, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I'm not afraid of going out on boundaries or whatever. I'm not afraid of doing that at all. I like it. I like that when I've created something and I know that, you know, I'm done with it. Once I finish something, I can look at all the areas that I might have struggled in or created something I didn't mean to. I can say, look, I still finished it. I can look at it now. Yeah, a little dark in here. Let it create some depth. You gotta have some shadow. You gotta have some variations. Just like that. Huh? See? Turn your brush. You don't have to have it the same way every time. Just press some color into the canvas and don't be afraid. Just well, don't do what I just did. I accidentally smudged that again. That's okay. I'm all right. I'll be just fine. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I'd like to hear from you. If you have any ideas or any techniques you'd like to share, by all means, I'd love to hear them. Well, read them. If you found a way to listen to things that were texted to you, then let me know. Turning my brush around because I did want to bring a little bit of shadow and depth over here. Just like that. Get some places that are a little bit darker like that, right there. Just play around with it, add a little more, and then just leave it. And I still have that tree to work with, don't I? Alright. And let's do that. Yeah, boy. Let's work with that tree. Alright, I'm gonna see what I can do with this a little bit. It's more of a script liner, but I just dipped it in the odorless paint thinner. Like that. I like to start out with this with branches like this. Once I think I like what I see, then I just go ahead and start adding the detail to it. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put a little more brown and black onto my plate. I'm going to start working on this tree here. I just think I see more light coming from this way. So I want to darken up most of the tree on this side. Now, on that note, I've seen plenty of artists just go ahead and make the dark side of the tree just all dark, but in reality, light kind of wraps itself around an object. It doesn't just shine on just one side. There are parts of it that really do just come through. You'll see little light spots on one side. There we go. I'm going to just make this darker. I do want to make it darker. No doubt. It is supposed to be darker on this side, but doesn't mean some light can't touch it. Another point I want to make is I want to hold this up into the light because my light is not as good as I wanted it to be. I got some green mixed in with the black, and that was why I wanted to look, because I do want more dark, especially around the edge. Not all trees are typically black or tan, sometimes a little green. And on this tree, I am going to touch up. I do need to put more actual dark. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a little bit of, I'm going to find my black. Here, boy. Here we go. Because I did not have, I'm about out of black. I need to go and buy some more. So I'll take it from right from the tube. That's all I need. Just a little bit. Trees are probably one of the things I do the best. I think when you become good at something, allow yourself some bragging rights, but don't get cocky. You don't have to be the only one good at doing something. But it is good to acknowledge what you're good at or what you're better at than some other things. This, truth be told, is not one of the better ones, because I got part of that area a little too slick, and I would have to let some of it dry. Which is probably what I will do. So I can add proper color to it, because it is just blending, and that's something I run into. I think we all run into that. All of us are just run into something like that. There's a rule of thumb that says you apply thin coat of paint to a thicker coat of paint, and it will stick better. It just so happens the background that I painted on was not very thick. So there you have it. The tree, because I do want to have this finished, and I'll put it on the website, dvwarts.com, along with all my other artwork that you can see, have a look at, or purchase if you'd like. But before I add it up there, I am going to touch up this tree. Do a little work with it. I'm going to put new foliage on it. I don't feel it. Just don't see it. But with that being said, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my name on this one. I usually use yellow, and I don't have a bright yellow out here because I really wasn't thinking about that. Still needs a little more of that. That odorless paint thinner to thin it out. And again, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you maybe were inspired. Alright, to do something like this, or whatever it is that's in your heart that you want to paint. You don't have to copy this. This just happened to be in my mind and in my heart, just to do a little landscape like this. You know, in a short time. I definitely want to improve the lighting here, because that did make things a tad bit harder. But challenge is good. Even doing my signature gave me a bit of a challenge. Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope you did like it, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Look for me on Google Plus, DVW Arts, and link up with me there. And what I will do is sometimes I will be doing some live painting episodes, and I might even do the Jesus portrait or something like that. I do have a commission work coming up in the next couple weeks I need to get done, and that is an anime painting of One Piece. So I have never done those type of things before, but I was asked to, so I'm going to. Maybe I'll do that one live. We'll see. I'll do that on in a group on Google Plus. Anyway, thanks again for joining, and hope to see you next time. I'll be doing these at least once a week, if not more than that. It's going to be a very active channel because I do like to paint. I do have commission work coming up. Besides the one I told you about, I just got a lot of painting assignments to do, and some that I haven't finished. This is just a quick episode of just throwing some colors on the canvas. Not one of the pieces that I pour a lot of detail in. Just having some fun. That's all. Just creating a little bit of snow, some shadow, sky, some trees, and things like that. So again, I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time.